Welcome back. Ini Thompson is standing by to take us around the country on happenings, campaign rallies, voter education, PVC collection and distribution. Hello, Ini.
Hello, Netta. Well, you said it all. Apart from the discussion going on in the studio about whether the politicians are playing by the rules, but politicians are still talking about the card readers. Of course, the argument is for and against. We'll bring you that story, as well as the level of distribution of PVCs across the states.
The distribution of the permanent voter cards in Oyo State as at March 9 is placed at 1,637,735 out of the 2,415,566 registered voters. This is in the face of continuous complaints from some electorate who have made attempts to collect their cards without success.
Some people have been coming to collect their cards, but some people will come and they will not see their cards. Some it might be problem of fingerprints.
However, INEC is also dealing with other issues to boost collection. One way is through voter education.
All these voters education programs are designed to have positive impact on the electorate and expected to propel them into taking positive actions in the electoral process.
In Ekiti State, 509,343 cards have been collected out of 732,021 registered voters. While distribution is ongoing on one side, politicians are still discussing the pros and cons of using the card readers for the election.
We cannot experiment with a presidential election nor National Assembly election. This is supposed to have been introduced.
But the real question is, why not the card reader now? And my answer would be that if we neglect to use card readers that we've spent millions of dollars purchasing as a nation, it clearly defines the kind of nation that we're running right now.
Another set of politicians, this time women in Niger State, are blowing the trumpet in support of the People's Democratic Party. They host some candidates of the party as well as other supporters in the state.
And that's it for Campaign Roundup. Back to you, Nelson.
Thank you very much, Ini. Thank you. But now we'll just go on to Nasarawa State, where our correspondent Pius Angbo is standing by to bring us up to speed what's going on there. Hello, Pius. Hey, Pius, are you there?
Yes, I am here.
Okay, Pius.
Thank you for that.
What do you have for us?
Thank you. From Nasarawa State here, the Independent National Electoral Commission has said it's giving past Saturday's mock exercise of the card reader in Kokona local government area of Nasarawa State. This past mark is coming after the mounting pressure by some PDP governors and some political parties not to use the card readers because of the questions they have concerning its workability. But the INEC PRO in Nasarawa State said the card reader is a novel idea in the Nigerian electoral process. And he said that over 300,000 card holders, out of the 900 card holders in Kokona registration area who came out on Saturday, were successfully captured without much problem. But he also said that the turnout was low compared to what they expected. He also mentioned that two incidences happened where a card that was supposed to verify somebody as male would have the picture of a female appearing on the screen. These were the two issues he saw as some of the faults in the process. But basically, he said that the distribution of PVC in the state is at 78% at this point as we speak. For the government, he has been the governor has been supervising the return of internally displaced persons from last year's crisis back to their communities. I understand that the governor has created 10 resettlement centers that surveillance is going on by security agencies to provide security for these people as they return to their place. He has been visiting to ensure that no incident is imminent there, and he has said that he will ensure that these people have opportunity to participate in the electoral process. on the political scene in Nasarawa State, we haven't seen much of campaigns from the PDP and the APC as much, though we had at the moment on Wednesday, the wife of the APC presidential candidate, Mrs. Aisha Buhari, was in Nasarawa State for the flag off of the APC Women Initiative Town Hall meeting to canvass vote for the husband. It does gather that the PDP, the wife of the presidential candidate of the PDP, Mrs. Patient Jonathan, will be visiting Lafia tomorrow for the PDP Women Rally. This has been the exercise of the women to support their husbands. You recall that they have been going nationwide to campaign and canvass for support for their husbands. This much has been what is going on in Nasarawa State.
Okay, very quickly, the peace accord, I know they signed a peace accord in Nasarawa. How is that holding up?
Well, to some extent, the peace accord has really been obeyed. I can say to you that political parties have been playing very much by the rules in Nasarawa State. We have not seen them taking up arms and against each other and fighting so much. It's just that there was just one incident in Obi local government some 2 weeks ago where PDP and APC supporters had a clash there, but that's it's going to put behind them now. All
right, thank you very much. Our correspondent, Paris Angbo, reporting from Lafia, the Nasarawa State capital. All right, let's come back to the studio. We're almost out of time. And in your closing statements, Ma and Mr. Dominic, how can we get the parties? I mean, you will be the final one. We'll still get from Aisha. How can we get the parties to align with the guidelines as laid down by the Grantham and the Electoral Act and international best practices?
I believe that the parties have doing that for now. You see?
You're speaking for your party?
I'm speaking for my party. Well, my party is doing that for now. What we need to do to get INEC to ensure that INEC itself plays by the rules. Because if INEC gives us a credible election, free, fair, and credible, where all eligible voters are allowed to cast their votes, these millions going about with their TVCs, temporary voters cards, and not being given their permanent voters cards, while INEC is announcing 90% distribution and collection, will not work. Let those who have cards be able to vote. Once there is a credible election, there will be no violence.
Hello, Aisha. Okay, we'll hope to hear from Aisha before we go. Ma, in closing.
In closing, I think that everybody, both the civil society comprises of NGOs, non-governmental organizations, and the media have to do their work to make government respect the rules of the Electoral Act.
Okay, Aisha, how do we get the parties to align to align themselves to the guidelines?
Excuse me, I didn't hear that.
As we're rounding up, we're closing now, but how do we get the political parties and indeed the politicians to align with the Electoral Act and the international best practices?
You see, the politicians will always have to abide by the Electoral Act and the Constitution. Why? Because especially if they are in the opposition, for the simple fact that they want to succeed, they can't afford to mess up with the Electoral Act or even with the Constitution because they are not even in a position to do so. But the question here is the PDP party in particular interested or even going to abide by the rules, by the Electoral Act and by the Constitution? That is the question, not the other political party.
All right, thank you. Thank you very much, Aisha. We've been speaking to Aisha Keita, who is the APC Women's Northwest Zone of the country. Dominic Adebola is a member of the People's Democratic Party. And Nma Odi is a human rights activist. Thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you for
being a part of the show. And thank you so much for letting us be a part of your day. But just before we go, this one, Geoffrey Emmanuel says, they are not playing by the rules. If you look at the way they abuse each other. That's from Geoffrey Emmanuel. He wrote in from Kaduna. We have a lot of other mails and comments here, but I'm afraid we cannot take them. Thank you so much. Till we bring another edition, same time tomorrow. Good night.